We have all had painful events in our lives that can lead to depression, anxiety, addiction, or broken relationships. But here's the secret. It is not about what happened to us that causes suffering. It's the stories we believe about ourselves. Join us as we shine light on how to rewrite our stories, avoid the shadows of shame, and travel along the pathway to joy, love, and connection. It's the Finding Peace podcast with your host, Amazon best-selling author, Troy L. Love.
Hello, and welcome to the Finding Peace podcast. Today, I have a very interesting guest. He's not the traditional kind of guest that you might expect to have on the Finding Peace podcast. His name is Tom Paladino, and he is a researcher. He's a scientist. And what he studies is scalar energy. What in the world is scalar energy? Well, it's the fundamental life force found everywhere in the world, in space, and in the universe. It originates from the sun and the stars. So if you're familiar with the words like chi or prana or mana or life force, or even from the Star Wars universe, the Force, those are all synonyms for the term scalar energy. And Tom theorized that all of the energy in the universe comes from scalar energy, and that the sun of our solar system and the stars of the universe are the points of origin, the storehouses for where scalar energy comes from and where it is stored. He also theorizes that this scalar energy is instructive energy. It teaches, it heals, it improves, it makes the world and the universe a better place. And it is instructed by what he calls a divine essence. Whether you believe in higher power or you believe that there is a force greater than yourself out there, that is what he believes fuels and guides and teaches this scalar energy. And subsequently, all spiritual, cognitive, emotional, and physical activities in the universe is initiated and maintained by scalar energy and the way that it is directed. He believes that scalar energy provides order in the universe. And part of the reason why I wanted to have him on the podcast was, first, this is fascinating to me. As you'll hear in the interview, I'm kind of a geek. Obviously, I like Star Wars and things like that, but I believe that we are not the only beings here in the universe. There's so much evidence about UFOs and aliens and all those kind of things that are coming to light now that just fascinates me. And I believe that there is something out there that's greater than what we comprehend, greater than the technology that we currently understand, that could make our lives better, could help us find greater peace, joy, and love in our life. And so would you please join me in welcoming Tom Paladino to the Finding Peace podcast. Well, hello, Tom. I'm really excited to talk with you and hear about the research that you do. This is something I have never heard of before. So could you tell me what you do?
Okay, Troy, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to speak to you. What do I do? That's a good question. I work with energy instruments. They're Tesla instruments, fashioned off the work of Nikola Tesla, the great inventor. I call them scalar energy. Some people call them Tesla energy or zero-point energy. Call it what you will. It's not electricity. I have developed instruments that access a different dimension, which is the scalar energy dimension. If a cell phone works through electromagnetic energy, that's fine. There's another type of energy, scalar energy, 0 point energy, that's not electricity. It's a different dimension. So it's very exciting because this dimension, scalar energy, is quite versatile. It really allows you to have consummate access to nature. But in so doing, you can achieve so much with this energy.
Where does it come from? I mean, I guess energy. Yeah.
The stars. Yeah. If you look at the universe, logically, you have to say, you're right. Where does this come from? It has to come from the sun and the stars. That's where all light, all energy originates. So that's the storehouse of this incredible energy. So with that said, if I can access that dimension, scalar energy, I have the potential to access unlimited free energy.
Yeah, I mean, the sun is a massive ball of energy. So how does somebody access it?
Yeah, with instrumentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nikola Tesla was the first man to develop scalar energy instruments that would access that dimension, scalar energy. It's not a movement of electrons. It's a different type of energy. It really is a different essence altogether. So over the years, I've worked with engineers and we've developed scalar energy instruments, and to a great extent, they have been designed from the work of Nikola Tesla, the great scientist. Again, Tesla was the first man, in my estimation, who was able to harness scalar energy.
How did you stumble into this? Like, what's the story that led you to fall into doing the work you do?
It's a lifetime endeavor. It's a trek. And it's you have to be patient because everything is groundbreaking. Why did I do this? God gave me the insight. God gave me the wisdom. I wanted to help mankind. And I see the tremendous potential here. I see where this is going. Imagine an energy that is inexpensive in operation. It's unlimited from the stars. There's no pollution. It can perform greater functions than that of electricity. I'm speaking of scalar energy. Imagine what this means to mankind. Free energy that's quite versatile, free energy that can accomplish so many work projects, so much to be advanced by this technology without leaving a carbon footprint.
That would be amazing, especially since our world seems to be falling apart.
Yeah. We need new solutions.
We do.
That's right. You can't keep trying to fit the square peg into the round hole. It's not working. We need solutions.
So how does a person tap into that energy? You said you need instruments. Once they've tapped into that energy, what does it do for them?
Yeah, that's a good point. So these instruments that I've developed, there's so many things that you can do once you harness scalar energy. What I've been able to achieve is to improve human and animal health. But I do that energetically, and I'll explain in detail what I mean by that. I don't work with a physical person. I work with their energy or their force field. So this is not a biological process. It's an informational process.
That's different than like someone's aura. If someone is doing...
Very good. It's the same. So I'm going to hold up my photographs. When I work with people around the world, I work with their photograph. People email me a photograph. My photograph has my aura or my scalar light signature.
Yeah.
That's non-physical. You hit the nail on the head. My aura is captured on my photograph. That's not a physical presence. It's an informational presence, or it's their aura. And I can access a person's aura by their photograph, and I can identify, say, pathogens and eradicate pathogens in their aura, in their force field.
Wow. So you capture, another way of saying is like you capture their inner light.
Yes.
Is that what it is? Wow.
I capture their inner light. That's how exciting this science is. Now, again, just to give a quick disclaimer, this is not medical science. This is not Newtonian science. This is a new way of looking at non-physical reality, the aura, as you put it, or the inner light, or their light force energy, and that's what we're correcting. So a scalar energy instrument will correct the brain waves in the 7 chakras. We're aligned with 7 chakras.
Right.
This instrument really has an immediate interface with the 7 chakras, and we can align or correct the 7 chakras. You can't do that readily with electricity. So the point is, our chakras are 7 points of light, scalar energy points of light. And we can access those non-physical points of light with a scalar energy instrument. And in so doing, we can realign the psyche. We can realign the spirit or the aura.
That's amazing. And you said that you offer some free stuff on the website. One of those, I was checking it out. You can send in a picture, right? So if somebody sends in a picture, what do you do with it?
Yeah. So I'll hold it up again. If I'm going to receive a photograph, I actually place the photograph inside the instrument. And then there's 3 functions. It's a standardized process in which we can look at the aura and we can balance the brain waves and balance the 7 meridians, the 7 chakras. We're also able to identify germs, microbes in the aura on the photograph and eradicate those. And then finally, we can send into that aura nutritional energy. We can actually assemble a vitamin, a mineral, an antioxidant. Now, keep in mind, I don't work with people. I work with their bilocated version, which is a photograph.
Yeah.
That's the interesting part about my research. When you're working in a scalar energy environment, everybody in the world has a body double by way of their photograph. So I don't work with the person. I work with their image, which is their copy, their energetic copy.
So as you're doing that, as you're looking at someone's picture and using the instrumentation to do that, can you share some stories of real life people and what the outcome has been for them?
That's the key. What is the outcome? What are the results? Results driven. It's all about, how does this perform? Can I perform? Well, we've been working with people in Africa, specifically HIV clinics in Africa and actually India. And after those people submit their photograph to me, I'm able to take the photograph, place it in the instrument. The instrument can actually pick out the HIV virus in their aura or on their photograph.
Wow.
The HIV virus is actually incorporated into their photograph because the photograph is the source of light. The aura is the composite of a person's information. All information is in the aura, which you perhaps might agree with that. So with that in mind, my instrument can pick out what viruses are in the aura and destroy them.
And then because it's energy, right? And this, like, I'm trying to put this in a framework so I can understand it. So like the sun can shine its light on everybody on the planet. So kind of what I'm hearing is, like, as you're doing your work wherever you are, that energy is able to be carried through the vibrations and however you describe it to that person. What happens to them after you've done it? Like these people in Africa, for example.
Okay, so the people in Africa and India that were HIV positive, after I work with them, many of them tell me that they feel better. Many of them say that they no longer have the symptoms of HIV viral disease.
Wow.
And really, to put this into context, when they have a follow-up PCR test, that PCR test is negative.
Wow.
There's no viral load. No viral load. So I believe we have discovered the way to access the aura of a person, and bluntly, we can eliminate, remove, destroy the HIV virus.
Wow. I would imagine that when you say that, you get a lot of pushback from traditional science.
I do, but we have to keep this into context. This is not Newtonian physics.
Yeah.
This is a new science. And everything I've discovered is of its own textbook, so to speak. There is, I'm not trying to correlate my work to Newtonian physics or to Western science. It's not.
It's a different paradigm, a different framework.
Yes, it's a different paradigm. That's the perfect term. There's two different paradigms, the electromagnetic paradigm and the scalar paradigm, which is why I call my website Scalar Light. I'm working in a scalar paradigm. Yes.
So if I sent you a picture and you did that, you would do that. Would you follow up with me and let me know what was going on, or like, how does it all work?
Yeah, what we do after people sign up, we provide a daily email that we explain our work.
Okay.
Many people, I'd say the majority of people, just want to receive our information. They don't want a give and take. Many people are very private about their quantum health, their emotional health, their physical health, call it what you will. So we provide daily emails. We explain the process. I would say that the greater majority of people that sign up for our free sessions, they tell us that they feel better. Even though they might not quite understand the process, I don't expect them. It's groundbreaking research. It's never been done before. I really don't expect anybody to understand this, but people feel better. And that's the key. I'm looking for results. Do people feel better? Okay, great.
Yeah. What invites a person to come to you?
Yeah. Probably word of mouth. That's the only way I can get this out there. It's this is shunned by academia. Nobody at the university level wants to touch this.
Right.
It's groundbreaking research. So, thank you for the interview. Podcasts like this help to get the word out. That's the only way I can promulgate my research. It's never going to be accepted overnight by mainstream. It'll eventually be accepted by mainstream, but it's going to take a lot of convincing.
You said that it's based on Tesla, and a lot of people don't know a whole lot about him because of the whole Edison won, I guess, if we were going to say. Like, the two of them had different perspectives about the way things were supposed to do, and whatever reason, what Edison did carried, and a lot of people don't know about the amazing work that Tesla's done and the energy. And I would imagine he had a lot of pushback as well. And now people are starting to learn a lot more about him and the work that he's done and the genius that he was. And that's kind of what I'm hearing from you is, like, traditional science, they are comfortable in their box and they don't want to touch it. And so you are facing probably some similar pushback as Tesla did, as you're doing something different. Looking at the world, you're looking at the world we got a lot of problems. And we don't have a whole lot of solutions that seem to be working a whole lot. So you found something that does.
Yeah, it does. You're absolutely right. And like most technology, new technology has to go through an acceptance. First, the people have to accept it and they have to see that it's meaningful. Well, we're still at that stage.
Right.
I will say that the general public has been very accepting of my work, and I thank them. And I forecast that they will continue to be very helpful and accepting of my work, as opposed to big business and some governments. They're not interested in this technology. It really does upset the apple cart for them.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot that goes into what you just said. I think sometimes culturally we want people to stay unwell. There's a lot of money in that.
Yeah. We saw that in the pandemic.
Yeah.
It is a fact. It is a stark reality that a great deal of money can be made off of people, off of illness and power. It was a power grab during the past 2 years.
Yeah. Lots of people scrambling, trying to be the first and all those things. Yeah. What unique experiences have you witnessed as you have used the scalar energy in your lab?
I've witnessed many peculiar phenomena. I say this quite frequently. Anytime I have, say, a computer next to my instrument, my computer will not work. The scalar energy will override my computer. In other words, there's so much scalar energy in the laboratory that my computer is flooded with scalar energy, and a scalar energy environment is not recognized by the computer. So my computer will literally freeze up in the vicinity of my scalar energy instrument. Meaning what? Well, that there's another paradigm, that there's another energy source, and that energy source, scalar energy, is not recognized by my computer.
It wasn't built to do that.
Exactly. A computer is built to recognize electromagnetic energy and electrical current. I'm not working with electricity. So a scalar energy instrument confuses a computer. That's why my computer freezes up.
That's amazing. We definitely are in an energy crisis. Lots of talk about carbon footprint and global warming and all that kind of thing. What does scalar energy add to or could help solve that problem?
Let's look back at Nikola Tesla. Over 100 years ago, he built a tower, a scalar energy tower in Long Island, New York. And this tower, if you look closely at it, there's no substation anywhere around. There's no generator. So this tower was a tower collecting scalar energy, star energy. And Tesla was able to send wireless transmission of scalar energy, and he was able to power, say, a light bulb with this. So that tower in Long Island, New York, represented Tesla's early achievement to give the world free energy. Now imagine if we can follow in his footsteps, and all we need is a tower to send out free energy anywhere in the world. Well, that's going to solve the energy dilemma. That's going to solve the energy crisis.
Yeah. As you're talking, I was watching, there's this season or there's show on television called Investigating the Skinwalker Ranch. It's a ranch in Utah that has all kinds of strange phenomenon happening. And one of the things that they did is brought out Tesla towers to test the energy because they figured out that there is energy running underneath the ground. And so they were trying to test that. And I had not heard anything about that, but they brought these towers out and explained that that was what Tesla was wanting to do, is figure out how to distribute energy through the world that had no wires, had no carbon footprint, and they still haven't figured out what's going on with this ranch and why, but they have a belief that there's people believe in, like, there's an alien presence or energy from people who've come from other places, and for whatever reason it's there. But they were also able to pick out that happens in other parts of the world. This energy is there, and as you're talking, like when they're there and things activate, people's cell phones stop working, or they just like are doing all, and they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, it sounds like what it is this scalar energy that is present that is not detected based on what their systems are trying to detect. So that's really fascinating. It helps me kind of see, wow, there's something else going on around here.
Yeah, very good. I'll give you another anecdotal story. In Sedona, Arizona, there's a great deal of scalar energy. That's why people feel different in Sedona. Now, I've seen some people with a compass, a magnetic compass, and they walk around Sedona, and that compass cannot orient to north. It cannot recognize, the geomagnetic north. Why? In a scalar energy force field, a very strong force field, you don't have a north pole or a south pole. It's confusing. So this is why many people may experience some type of cell phone disruption in Sedona, or their compass does not properly orient to magnetic north because it's being overrun by a scalar energy force field, which is not electricity.
Yeah. They call them the vortexes.
Yes, it is a vortex. And why do we say that? Scalar energy rotates. It's a vortex.
Mm. Yeah.
So it makes sense now, right, Troy? It's so simple. You have two choices, electricity or scalar. And when you see events in the universe, they're either electromagnetic or scalar. It's that simple.
Wow. That's amazing. So if somebody submits their photograph, you work with them. I'm hearing that a lot of these people are private. Can they do it again? Or like, is it a one-time thing that like, how does this work?
I suggest people read our website. And then if you're inclined, again, all you have to do is email us a photograph, just your bust shot, just from the neck up. Now, why? We want to prove this. The proof is in the pudding. So this is why we offer our 15-day free session on the website. I would like to treat everybody in the world for the 15-day free trial. I mean that. How do I introduce this? This is a nebulous concept. You introduce it by way of a 15-day free trial in which people only have to send in their photograph. There's nothing else people have to do, right? Mm-hmm. So after that, there's a paid session for 30 days, but that's up to people. My goal is to introduce this to as many people as possible. That's the only way I can get the information out there. It's a grassroots effort. I don't have money to advertise this. Mm-hmm. I just don't have the money. You could spend millions of dollars of advertising. I don't know if it would get me anywhere.
Right. I hear you. What is your passion? Like, what are you hoping that this will do to change the world?
Yeah, that's a good point. So today in my lab, I work with 500,000 people. I had 500,000 photographs. They're miniaturized. So people will send me collages like this. And I can work with a collage like this with my instrument, or I could work with 500,000 photographs in collage format. So what do I propose? That I want to treat everybody in the world at least once by their photograph. And that's why I give away free sessions. And I predict the day will come that we'll be able to treat 500 million people a year by way of their photograph. 1 billion people. I'm already treating 500,000 a day.
Wow.
So, consider that now we're outside of time and space. We're not in any way bound to a physical location. Mm-hmm. Anybody in the world can send me collages, photographs. I don't have to travel abroad. You just email me your photograph. So I envision a global healing ministry, a global quantum healing ministry, in which eventually we will work with 1 billion people a year.
Man, your face lights up when you say that.
Yeah, thank you.
I can tell there's a lot of emotion in there.
Yeah. We're going to help many people, 1 billion people a year.
Well, that would be amazing because we got 8 billion of them on this planet.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And we need new solutions. Scalar energy is a solution. Although it's suppressed, it's still a solution. It's free energy.
Yeah. That's beautiful, brother. One of the things I do on the podcast is I ask, we call it the speed round or the quick round. I don't know why I call it that, because it's not intended to be quick. It's just 10 questions that I ask in a row. So, you ready?
Yeah.
So what's one thing about you that surprises people?
When they get to meet me, I'm just a regular guy.
Mm.
But they might hear me on a podcast. Perhaps that's difficult for some people to grasp, but I like to be grounded. When people meet me, they realize I'm a regular guy. And I love it.
Yeah. What do you like to do for fun?
I spend a lot of time with my wife, my grandkids. That's my joy.
Your face smiled. Your face lit up again when you said that. We've all faced a major decision in our lives that has resulted in us choosing to take a left turn instead of going the traditional right. When have you faced such a dilemma, and how did it work out for you?
I face that on a frequent basis with my research. I'm a Christian. I face that with my Christian beliefs, and I stick to my principles, and I'm happy to do so because I stand for something.
Mm-hmm.
From a young age, I made up my mind that I was not going to go with the flow, that I was going to follow the truth, and with that in mind, it perhaps is the path less traveled, but I'm happy to have made that decision.
And people are being blessed because of it.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Yeah. What book are you reading right now?
It's kind of dry. I just received in the mail a book on quantum physics and about the holographic universe. And I have a combination of scientific books on Scalar. I do love religion. I love discovery, and I actually love travel.
It's awesome. When have you felt most alive?
When I help people. When I can give back to society, when I help people.
I can see the passion you have about that. That's really awesome. If you're going to spend the rest of your life on an island and could only bring one item, let me start over. If you were going to spend the rest of your life on an island and could only bring one item of personal meaning, what would it be?
I'd bring my wife with me.
That is such a good answer. You're the second person that has said that. Why?
Well, she's my other half. I wouldn't want to be without her.
Oh,
I'd be lost without her.
You get brownie points for that, man. That's amazing. I think I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Can you name a person or a teaching that has a profoundly positive impact on your life?
Yeah, it has to be Jesus. And then in the scientific realm, men like Tesla and Hieronymus. These are brilliant researchers, brilliant inventors who followed the truth. Let me say this about invention. There's no chicanery. You either have it or you don't. And if you find an inventor, that inventor has copied nature, in some way been able to duplicate nature. Those are the real geniuses. People like Tesla.
What is a daily practice that you have to do every day?
I always pray, and I always have goals. Every day I'm rather regimented, and I should be because I'm a researcher. I have goals. I have a design every day. I have a plan, and I meet that plan.
What's one question that you wish that I had asked you, and how would you have answered it?
Oh, maybe a dozen questions. What is the future of scalar energy? I'll answer that question. It's about to change the world. That's a given. There's just too many people who understand this now. 30 years ago, it was still in its nascent stage. Now it's really starting to cultivate. It's already distilled in the minds of so many people. It's free energy from the stars, and other inventors have done it. And we need free energy now. This energy crisis is not going away. Things are not going to get better next year or the following year. We've had energy crisis for over 100 years now. It's a monopoly. We know that. Yeah. We need free energy.
Right. Well said. What does finding peace mean for you?
When you find peace, you find the truth. And the truth usually is very simple and straightforward. And as a scientist, I always look for that fundamental truth. What do I mean by that? If you're following the laws of science, the laws of science are immutable. They can't be changed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about my research. If I'm working with scalar energy, which is a fundament of the universe, it can't be changed. It cannot be manipulated. You might be able to manipulate something else, but you can't manipulate the laws of science.
That is beautifully said. One of the things that I do in the work that I do as a therapist and as a coach is trying to help people connect with their truth. And that gets lost so often. But when we connect with truth, the power that connects with that is amazing. So thank you.
You're right. There's nothing like the truth. Once you see the truth and you recognize it in all its clarity, it's indisputable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Where can people find you?
The website is scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. And with that, anybody in the world can once again send us, email us your photograph. Please avail yourself of the free trial. You will be impressed. I know you've never heard of this before, most likely, but it works. Send us your photograph. There is a quantum health signature on your photograph.
Well, I'm going to do it. I'm curious to see what happens, but I'm going to do it. One of the things that I really I keep searching for is other ways to help people heal. And medical ways are great, but they're not the only ways. And even in my work that I do, I'm always trying to help find what is going to help this person find more joy, hope, light, excitement in their life. And here's another way.
You're right. There's many tools that we need that are available to us.
Right. And you're offering yours for free. That's amazing. Well, Tom, I am honored and grateful that you were willing to spend some time with me today. And I am going to send in my picture. I'm going to see what happens. So I'll keep everyone posted. But thank you for the work that you do and the passion that you have to make a difference in this world.
Yeah. We are making a difference. Everybody is. So join our movement. If this makes sense to you, contact us. We're about to change the world. Remember, it only takes a photograph to make an impression on 1 billion people a year. We're about to change the world.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for your time with me today.
Yeah, thank you, Troy.
You've been listening to the Finding Peace podcast. If you love the show or want to ask a question, let us know by going to findingpeaceconsulting.com. There, you can also learn about the Finding Peace 5-Day Challenge. Remember to subscribe to this podcast so you won't miss the next episode. And if you are listening on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. It really does help other people find this podcast more easily. Thank you for spending part of your journey with us. And a special thanks to Johnny Porter for producing the show, and A.G. Flux for the new background music. Copyright Finding Peace Consulting.